Hello, welcome to July's Readathon TBR. Y'all, I'm so excited for July. In the past, I don't really partake in like the community readathons or anything like that, but this month is banging and it's got me excited to try and find more readathons. So if you guys know of any readathons or like reading bingo cards or anything like that that might tickle my fancy, please let me know because I'm so excited for the TBR that I have built out for July based on a few readathons that I am partaking in. You couldn't tell by this gorgeous shirt. I will be partaking in July's Sunrise on the Readathon, hosted by Katie Colson, and I'm very excited about that, but we will talk about that a little later on in the video. To start, we are kicking things off with Summerween, hosted by Gabby. This one's a shorter one. It spans the time of 8 days, but before we get into that, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Kayla, and welcome to my cozy chaotic corner of the internet. I was about to say in today's video, but you guys already know what we're talking about in today's video, so let's just crack in to the books that we'll be reading this month. So Summerween has 5 reading prompts. Some of them are more like immersive experience reading prompts and less about the specific books, but let's go through what the reading prompts are. First, we have read a book in the dark or at night. Read a horror or thriller book. Read a book with a sky on the cover. Read a book you've owned for more than a year. And then read a novella, manga, or listen to a spooky audiobook. Read a horror or thriller book. And for that, honestly, this whole stack is a little spooky ooky, but specifically for this prompt, I have chosen Model Home by Rivers Solomon. To be honest with you, I don't quite know what this book is about, but I have heard a lot of people talk about it, and also just like, how eye-catching is this? I'm not the biggest fan of color, but if you're gonna have color, slap me in the face with it. The 3 Maxwell siblings have kept their distance from the lily-white gated enclave outside Dallas where they grew up. It wasn't being the only black kids in the neighborhood that pushed the children to flee, but rather the strange, inexplicable things that began to happen in the house as soon as they moved in. Was it some cosmic trial, a demonic rite of passage into the upper class? Whatever it was, the Maxwells, steered by their formidable mother, stayed put, unwilling to abandon their home, terrors, and trauma be damned. As adults, the siblings finally got away from the horrors of home, leaving their parents alone in the house. But when news of their parents' death arrives, Esri is forced to return to Texas with their sisters, Eve and Emmanuel, to reckon with the family's past and present and to find out what happened while they were away. Rivers Solomon has turned the haunted house novel on its head. Unbridled, raw, and daring, Model Home is a story of secret histories uncovered and the family battling for their right to live, grieve, and heal amid the terrors of contemporary American life. I'm intrigued about this book because a part of me feels that from that synopsis alone, it can do one of two things, right? We can have the supernatural haunted house element, or we could just have like the societal horrors that people face. So I'm intrigued to see what route it goes down. I will note, as we all know, Kayla is not usually the biggest fan of supernatural elements, but we're going into this book with the expectation that it will have supernatural elements. I'm just curious if there actually are going to be supernatural elements or just the sinister human nature of it all. I'm intrigued. The next prompt is read a book with the sky on the cover. And for that, I might be stretching the limits of what one considers a sky. However, I have selected With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. There's a sky behind this train, right? That totally counts. This is a mystery whodunit. However, it has a little bit of twist. Our main character brings a group of people onto this train, and their intention is to kill the people that they brought on this train. However, someone ends up dead before they even have a chance to execute their plans. And so now it turns into who the heck is killing my victims? I'm very intrigued. Also, I just love a classic stuck in one place whodunit. It really like forces you to confront the characters, and I feel like typically those type of books have really great character developments. So we'll see. I've never read Riley Sager before, so I don't know if their writing style is my preference. However, the synopsis of this book, I'm just like, yes, That sounds up my alley. We'll see. Okay, so the next prompt is read a book that you've owned for over a year. And I have owned volume 1 and volume 2 of Death Note for I think 2 years now, and I haven't cracked them open yet, but I want to. I think in total there's 6 volumes, and I've been wanting to delve into them, so why not start now? I foresee this being the summer of manga, personally. And then the last reading prompt for Summerween is read a novella, a manga, or listen to an audiobook. And for this, I have chosen a novella. I've picked Graveyard Shift by M.L. Rio. I've heard so-so reviews about this, but to give you all a quick synopsis, this is a book about a group of people who all meet up in the graveyard every night to have their little smoke break. And something crazy starts to happen. And it's kind of like Scooby Gang vibes where they're all solving the weird things that are happening. I have 3 stacks of books in front of me right now. The next stack of books are just kind of books that I want to read in general. They aren't specific for the Summerween or Sunrise on the Readathon. They're just books that I would like to read. Perhaps not in July specifically, but this summer in general would be nice. I don't need to give a caveat, but I'm going to give a caveat because if you hang around with me a lot, you know that for the most part, I do stick in the thriller mystery arena, but y'all, literally like the past 5 books I have read have all been thrillers, and I've DNF'd all of them. I just have not been satisfied or satiated with thrillers recently. So I have a stack of books here that, while some of them, yes, kind of fall in that category, most of them do not. So let's kick things off with a thriller. We have The Summer I Lied by Bridget Annalise. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually a book that I have picked out for a very specific video, and I don't really know much about the book, but I know that it has to do kind of like summer camp vibes at the lake, because that was kind of what I was looking for the specific video I'm making, summer camp lake vibes. So hopefully it gives. I believe this is a YA thriller or horror potentially. I can't quite remember off the top of the noggin. I foresee this being a quick read. Hopefully it's a good quick read though. The next 2 books are going to be in that summer camp vibe vein, and we have Lights Out by R.L. Stine. This is part of his Fear Street series. I personally, don't look at me, I've never read R.L. Stine before. I know, crazy. I feel as though like I've seen the Goosebumps shows and stuff like that, but I've never actually just like sat down and read Goosebumps to my knowledge. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't, but I do not recall ever reading Goosebumps or Fear Street growing up. So I'm actually kind of really excited to delve into these books as an adult. Okay, and our last summer camp vibes, in not really a fun summer camp kind of way, we have Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. This is a horror novel about a gay conversion camp. I'm very intrigued about this book because I recently read Bury Your Gays by Chuck Tingle, and I absolutely loved it. And coming out in August, Lucky Days by Chuck Tingle is coming out, and I just want to like read this before Lucky Days comes out because there was a cute little Easter egg about Camp Damascus in Bury Your Gays. So I feel like I just need to catch up with his works to see if any other Easter eggs pop up. So our next book is a new release by TJR, Taylor Jenkins Reid. Does anyone else call her TJR? I don't know why, but I was just like, I'm going to give you the nickname of TJR. Atmosphere. This is about our main character, Joan, and in the 80s, NASA has opened their astronaut program to women, and Joan is like, fuck yes, let's get into it. Again, I've never read TJR. I hear she's phenomenal, and I'm intrigued to delve in. None of her other books have really like called to me, but something not only about this cover, but about the astronaut program at NASA, I was like, I feel like this is what I need this year. Okay, y'all. I'm like mildly embarrassed to show this book. I don't know why. Here's the thing. I love a smutty romance, spicy, dark. I love it. I feel like those books are so easy, so quick to read. They're kind of like my guilty pleasure. I just gobble them up. But I don't know how to speak to them, even though I'm a grown adult that has had sexual relations. Like, I don't know how to speak to them, and I get mildly embarrassed. But I don't know. Don't look at me. I don't know. Lights Out by Navisa Allen. This is a dark romance motorcycle. Yeah, motorcycle, dark romance. You can blame Isabella Lanter. I think a month or two ago she mentioned reading this and like gobbling it up. And I'm just like, okay, pop off. I love Isabella, so maybe I too will love Lights Out. Now we're diving into fantasy, and we have our Infinite Fates by Laura Stevenson. I'm not gonna lie. This may or may not have been a cover purchase. Oh, you know I'm a sucker for friggin' gold. Look at that gold foiling on the cover. My one complaint though is that it has this little like gold foiling detail on the front, but then it doesn't wrap around onto the spine or the back. If you're gonna do it, go big or go home, people. And then it also has the gold edging. Classic, iconic. I feel like this should just be the standard. Like every book should just come with gold edges. Also, there's something very satisfying about just like the feel of this book. It's very like square, and I feel like a lot of books don't have like just the squared off thing anymore. But let's just read this quick little blurb at the very top of the synopsis page, okay? The invisible life of Addie LaRue meets This Is How You Lose the Time War in this fantastical and epic love story that defies death as two souls reincarnate through the centuries. And so just off the top of the noggin, I do know that there are two main characters. There's a dude and there's a woman. And the dude is constantly killing the woman. But there's a reason, and they do have a romantic connection. That's stunning. The next book is also a stunning, gorgeous, beautiful. Oh, I know that I picked because it's a beautiful, gorgeous, stunning book. And she's heavy. This is such a heavy book, y'all. I'm going to need to get like the audiobook, the Kindle version. I don't know. The Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of The Moth and the Night by Rachel Gillig is so heavy, and it is because it is printed on a paper that is not typically used in standard publication. So just know, if you're going to buy this book and you want the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, it's heavy. It's literally physically a heavy book. So just know, but it is a gorgeous, stunning, beautiful book across the board. Stunning. This, though, is about a woman, Sybil, who's kind of like a diviner. She sees things and helps the people of the land with her visions. However, there's this dude, Nightman. He's a heretic, and a heretic is the only one who can defeat the gods. And apparently there's some sort of something between Sybil and this heretic. It sounds really good. And again, at the end of the day, this is just to look absolutely stunning, gorgeous, beautiful, amazing on my shelves. Because I'm a cover hoe. And the last book on our just general July TBR is Faithbreaker by Hannah Kaner. This is the final installment of the God Killer trilogy. I'm so excited, but I'm so nervous. I'm so excited, but I'm so nervous. Because I absolutely loved and adored God Killer. And Sunbringer, so. But it had such a phenomenal ending. And Faithbreaker, all I'm saying, if Hannah Kaner kills off anyone for our main 4, I will burn all of my books. Not really, but I'm obsessed. It's a fun action adventure book. Specifically, God Killer is like big action adventure, has like a dark undertone throughout it. Sunbringer, book 2, gets a little bit more political. You get to learn like the political layout of the land that we live in. We didn't really get that in book 1, which is why for me book 2 was kind of like I realized I didn't really like the politics of fantasy books. I'm more action adventure, but I'm intrigued to see where Faithbreaker goes, because the way Sunbringer ended was more action adventure, less sitting in a room talking politics. I think Faithbreaker is going to be super action packed. We'll see. And last, but certainly not least, we have the reason for the season. Sunrise on the Readathon. Not gonna lie, y'all, I'm so excited for this. So, for Sunrise on the Readathon, there are specifically 5 reading prompts. However, the reading prompts are specific to each week of the month. So we are going to work our way backwards. We're going to start at week 4, 3, 2, 1. And then there's also an overarching reading prompt for the entire month. So, prompt number 1, books with 10,000 or less reviews. For that, I highly encourage you, if you are partaking in Sunrise on the Readathon, local indie authors to you. Support your local economy, support your indie authors. 9 times out of 10, their books are going to have less than 10,000 reviews. Makes it super easy for you. So for me, we have an affinity for formaldehyde. This is a cute little horror I say cute in the sense that it's tiny. A cute little horror novel by Chloe Spencer. Last year, I read her book Mewing. Absolutely loved it. It was a quick, easy little horror read. So I'm excited to delve into an affinity for formaldehyde. We also have Hot Singles in Your Area by Jordan Shively. Not gonna lie, I don't know what this book is about, but this cover, how grotesque and how fun. Prompt number 3 is a translated book. So this prompt, obviously there's people across the world partaking in this. So whatever your native tongue is, you're reading a book that is translated into your native tongue. Most manga, not all, but most manga is translated to English or whatever language. So I plan on tackling the Ceres Celestial Legend because I really want to add the Apothecary Diaries to my collection, but I told myself I am not allowed to buy the Apothecary Diaries series until I finish Ceres. So we will be diving into Ceres this month. The next reading prompt is books by marginalized authors, and I have actually a stack of options to choose from. First and foremost, we have Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. This is a book about the publishing industry and the racism. Why can I not say this word? And the racism within the publishing industry. And then we have The Summer I Can't talk today. Next, we have The Summer I Ate the Rich by Micah and Maritza Mulit. Apologies for the mispronunciation. But this is about literally what the cover says it's about. Literally. Okay. Oh, also, this book counts as under 10,000 as well. And then we have Universality by Natasha Brown, a quick little novella. And this, I actually don't recall what it's about. I just remember going, oh my God, that cover is gorgeous. But it is late one night on a Yorkshire farm in the midst of an illegal rave, a young man is nearly bludgeoned to death with a solid gold bar. An ambitious young journalist sets out to uncover the truth surrounding the attack, connecting the dots between an immoral banker landlord, an iconoclastic newspaper columnist, and a radical anarchist movement that has taken up residence on the farm. She solves the mystery, but her viral expose raises more questions than it answers. Through a voyeuristic lens and with the simmering power, Universality focuses on words, what we say, how we say it, and what we really mean. A thrilling novel from one of the most acclaimed young writers working today, Universality is a compelling, unsettling celebration of the spectacular force of language. It dares you to look away. Yes. And then our last reading prompt is Banned and Challenge Books. But also, our month-long reading prompt is any book in the Hunger Games series. The Hunger Games was banned for violence and being anti-authority, which is kind of wild because literally the whole purpose of the story is discussing how we shouldn't normalize violence and blindly follow authority. But, you know, irony is not for everyone. So, to tick off the box, I do plan on reading at least The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, but of course we have the other two, Catching Fire and Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. Not gonna lie, in my personal humble opinion, I have zero intention of ever picking up or reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but you might be able to convince me to pick up Sunrise on the Reaping. Go ahead, do that in the comments down below. Let me know, should I read Sunrise on the Reaping? I was eyeballing it at the store the other day, making little googly eyes, being like, hey, and it was like, hey. So let me know in the comments down below. If you did not know, the Hunger Games series is so well known for being challenged and banned in some states in America, specifically at the height of the Hunger Games. And as mentioned earlier, the reasons for being challenged and for being banned, specifically in the states of Texas, Georgia, New Hampshire, and some parts of California, was because it invoked violence and rebelling against authority. And this specifically happened amongst parents and school districts. So just imagine banning the Hunger Games for violence when half of American history class is literally just a slideshow of wars and revolution. But yeah, sure, Katniss and her gang of merry gentlemen, way too violent for history class. Sure, Jan. But anyways, y'all, that is my TBR for July. It is jam-packed. Of course, these are just books that I hope to read. Will I read all of them? Highly unlikely. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm feeling motivated. A lot of these were on the shorter end. Quite a few novellas, quite a few manga. We'll see how far we go, but I really hope to, at the very least, tick the prompts for the Sunrise on the Readathon challenge. And I highly encourage y'all, if you want to partake in Sunrise on the Readathon, go check out the video linked down below for Katie Coulson's announcement of it. She's been popping out videos left, right, and center in regards to Sunrise on the Readathon. And there's also merch, as you can see, that you can purchase for yourself. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the like button, comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.